Real quick before I get started with the tips and tricks, these tips and tricks are under the full understanding that there is no trauma or any situation that is unsafe for the child. This is where you know they're safe, you know they're in good environment, you know the teachers are wonderful. This is just your child is having their own personal experience and they're going to work through this newfound feeling.
Welcome to Keep 'em Healthy with Jamie, your go-to classroom for integrative kids, health, and wellness. I'm Jamie, a biology professor, an integrative health coach, and most importantly, a mom who's been through it all. When the conventional medical system couldn't provide the answers my own child needed, I took my background in anatomy, physiology, and nutrition and went looking for a better way. Join me as I chat with experts and physicians to help you decode your child's biology and psychology from childhood through young adulthood. If you're ready to stop guessing and start understanding, you're in the right place. Let's keep them healthy together. Hey listeners, and welcome to my classroom when it comes to integrative health and wellness for kids. A lot of the topics that I'm going to be talking on my own have come from personal experiences within my own life where I have had to open up those books, do my research, practice certain techniques and tips and tricks, and then implement them in my home and see through trial and error, because not everything works for each child. Each child is unique, and kind of just see where we go from with whatever problem we're trying to solve. So today, I'm going to be talking about when you have a child who is upset and crying and not wanting to go to school right before the bus comes to pick them up. So I had a child who we went through a big transition. We had moved. They had never experienced a debilitating form of anxiety. And so when it hit them out of the blue, when approaching a new school with new people and new environments, it really threw them for a loop. And when it threw them for a loop, it made them want to run away from school and made them want to not be there at all. So it started and stemmed with the freaking out before leaving for the bus. And then they get to school and then I get a phone call saying that they're upset and they're crying and can you come pick them up, and the whole runaround. So first of all, this pulls at your heartstrings as a parent because you never want your child to feel unsafe or upset about something they have to do every day, like going to school. So you're trying to always put them in environments that they're going to thrive. And school is one where it should be this happy, exciting time for them. They get to be with their friends. They normally have this wonderful teacher, and the community of people that work at the school are wonderful people. Not to mention my group in general, they have each other. So they're not showing up to school without siblings. There's other people on the bus with them, maybe not in their classroom, but they're in the building with them. So a couple of things here is, number one, to get the phone call and have to go pick them up because they're crying because they have anxiety about being at school was a really hard decision to make. One that I made once and never made again, because you realize that once you engage in giving into the anxiety when they're crying and at school and you say, okay, I'll come get you, and you save them, quote unquote, from the moment, then the child expects it every time and will play that game more frequently. So here's where we're at. So the things that I had to do, I had to focus on, I say, okay, well, what's really happening and what can I actually do for them before school starts, and give them a tool to use during school that is easily available and that is not going to make them look weird. Like, I'm not going to make them do an activity that is going to make them do a crazy lion breathing in the middle of school with like getting everything out, right? It needs to be a tool that's reasonable, that they feel gives them confidence and competence, that in the moment when they have this feeling of anxiety, because that's what it is, it's just a feeling, just like happiness and sadness and excitement, they're all feelings and they're not in charge. So what tool can I give them in this moment? Okay, so let's pull back from the basics of what I did through trial and error. The biggest thing that you can do as a parent for your child is through role modeling. So you know the bus is coming. They know the bus is coming. They're freaking out. Are you, as the parent, freaking out? Because from day one, these children come out of the womb looking at you as the parent to learn how to be in this world. So, step one, parents, for you, and this is my biggest advice, is to role model the behaviors you want for your child. So, if your nervous system is doing the freak and you're already heightened and stressed and ready to pounce because you know what's coming, this child's going to give you heck and you're going to have to deal with it, and you have other kids and you have other things to do, we have to set you up for success first, right? So, we have to make sure that your nervous system is at a calm level so that you can approach the situation with a calm parent. So, what does that mean? It means a lot of the same things I'm going to tell you to do for your child. It means that you need to do those same things as well. Number one, you need to make time for what is ahead. You know that your child needs attention and love right now because they're going through something. This is not a forever moment, and you need to make space for it. So, make space for it so that you don't feel overwhelmed, that you're not getting anything else done or whatever it is. Set yourself up for success. Number two, what tools have you learned about yourself that can make you feel a secure, calm, confident self? Is it making sure you're dressed for the day? Is it going through breathing technique? Is it listening to certain music or having a certain routine before the kids wake up? Whatever that is, hit that before you start your day with your child. Okay, parents. So if you have regulated your nervous system, you're in a calm, confident state to take on whatever this day brings. Now you're ready to embrace your family and your kids to prepare them for school, even though they may not want to go. So here's what I want to establish. I want to establish that your child is terrified of how they feel. So this relationship with how they feel makes them think that this feeling of anxiety is in charge. It is not. It is a feeling. So language is really important when it comes to young kids. We have to speak to them in ways that they're going to understand. So, okay, hey, can you tell me what it feels like right now? Like, what does your body feel like? Ask them that question. My child would say, it feels like there's a bunch of butterflies in there and that I don't feel well. Okay, fair. What then I would say in response is, what you're explaining to me sounds like something I've experienced in my life, and I've named it anxiety. But that feeling is just a feeling. The same way I feel when I'm happy and I want to jump up and down, it comes and it goes. I'm happy and then I can be sad. I can have anxiety and then I can be calm, right? So you say, okay, so that's what it is. You have the butterflies. That's fine. That's totally normal. Sometimes I get nervous before I go to my work. Sometimes I get nervous before going to school. So I had to say to myself, okay, so you have some nerves or you have some butterflies. Are they in charge? You have to make that feeling be a separate entity that is not them. You have to kind of put those butterflies in a box and say, you have a box in your belly right now, but it's not going to stay there. So you have to say to it, hey, you're not in charge. I am. And so what is my next right step? What am I trying to do? So what is the next step? What tools do I have that are in my control that I can teach my child? So that next step is breathing. It's free, it's readily available, and it won't make your child feel weird in class because they're going to have these butterflies in class as well. And this is something that for my child in particular, if you were to ask them today, what do you do when you have anxiety or you feel butterflies? They will answer, I breathe. And it's something so simple. And you empower your child. You say to them, you have this amazing capability to use your breath to talk to your brain and tell your brain to chill. And eventually it will. Because what the amazing thing about children is that they do get distracted and they change course very quickly. The resiliency of children is so beautiful and so quick that you just have to say to yourself, okay, if I breathe, and you practice the type of breathing. So the type of breathing could be that box breathing, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, or it could be even simpler. Breathe in, count to 4, breathe out, count to 6, or whatever numbers they love. If they love 6, 7, breathe in for 6, breathe out for 7. And you tell them when you're doing that, you're in charge because your specifically talks to your brain and will tell it to calm down. So you're in charge. So it gives them that confidence. So there's that tool. You don't want to make things too complicated for these kids, and you don't want to create too much of a spotlight on it. So here's a couple things that I also will give you as advice because as a parent, your own kid. So some kids are artistic. Some kids like to write. Some kids are super physical. They just do really well with physical activity. So here are some tips and tricks that you can use if you want to help your child to process their thoughts. If they're maybe a little bit older, maybe 10, 11, 12, you can give them a notebook and you say, when you have some thoughts that are making you feel the butterflies, I want you to say, okay, thoughts, I see you. I'm going to put you down in this book, and this is where you're going to live because you're not living in my body because I'm in charge and I don't like those thoughts. And so they go in this book. Again, just giving them some agency to take part in this relationship and say, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to put you somewhere else. The other thing that I would do for my children during this time is before school, and especially for boys, but for girls too. Number one, getting that morning sunlight in their eyes. Just this is helps to regulate their nervous system. Number one, getting the sun in their eyes, and number two, getting the wiggles out before school. So that could look really different for different families. But again, you have to make time for this if you're going to do it, and you can't rush it because then the kids will sense your stress and they'll sense you trying to push it. So here's what I would do. I would make sure, let's just say the bus is coming at 8:15. By 7:50, we're all outside. Even if it's cold, we're dressed and we are, I don't know, we're shooting hoops. We are having a catch. We are on the pogo sticks. We are playing tag. We are playing hide and seek. You could take a walk around your neighborhood, walk your dog. Dogs are so good for regulating nervous systems. Walk your dog, pet your dog, hug your dog, play catch with your dog. Whatever your child likes to do physically to get the wiggles out and also to get them outside, fresh air, sunlight, touching the grass, outside, touching trees, grounding themselves before the school day begins is another way to just get that energy out. But you don't even have to tell your kids that you're doing this to manage their anxiety. Don't even say anything about it. Make this a part of your new family routine with your kids and make this something that everyone enjoys. And guess what? Your other kids are going to benefit too. And you're going to benefit because it winds up becoming, and this is what it became for my family. We do a morning walk or we go outside and we play before school begins. It winds up becoming this time where I'm not on my phone. I'm asking them about their day, what they have ahead of them, what they're excited about. They're jumping around like ping pong balls half the time, running around, throwing sticks, whatever they're doing. And they get to just let themselves be kids before they have to go to school and sit and be in a chair. So that really helps. The other thing is when the kids come home from school, they're already thinking about all the things that has stressed them out throughout the day. We don't need to come home and be like, hey, how was your anxiety today? No, I would ask the teacher, I would say to her, this is between me and you. Can you just give me some insight? How did today go? You need some feedback from what you're trying to do. How did today go? And please don't bring it up unless there's an issue. You don't want to start to engage and to say, and you're going to get to a point where you're even going to tell the teacher, hey, please don't let them go down to the nurse's office. We really don't want this to be a habit. Please tell them to use their breath or whatever tool you've given them. You know, another nice thing is you can give them a picture of yourself to keep in their school bag. Sometimes, you know, you could say, hey, if you feel like the butterflies are coming on the picture, I wrote on the back the breathing things that we talked about and some positive reinforcement. Take out that picture, read the back. Remember how much you are loved by mommy and your family, you know, things like that. Those are things that are not going to be crippling to them or make them look different from the other kids that could be good tools. The last thing I want to talk about is food. And I know, you know, food is medicine, lifestyle is medicine. If you want to set your child up for success and regulate their nervous system, we need to give them nourishing food for the day. Unfortunately, having a Pop-Tart or a muffin or something with high sugar and then saying, okay, now go sit into a classroom and in a desk all day long is not going to make them feel good. So number one, it'll fuel their anxiety. But number two, it puts them in a position where their body is going to want to move and all these things and it can't, and then they get upset, right? So we don't need to be doing that. So really focus on nourishing your child's body before going to school. So that means, you know, eggs, toast with good fats, so good butters. You can even do Greek yogurt with fruit and nuts and things like that. Just really keeping it high protein, good fats, fruits, vegetables, and just low sugar or no sugar would be great. And make sure they're hydrating. And that will also make you feel better that you're setting them up as best that you can. Okay, so it's a lot. So number one, regulate your own nervous system. Number two, teach them how to breathe as a tool to be in control and that they have an agency in this relationship with anxiety. Number three, find time before school to take them outside, get some sun in their eyes, and to play and have fun with their siblings or you and get their wiggles out before school. And then number four is nutrition and making sure you're hydrating them and not sending them to school filled with sugar-filled foods that are going to make their body feel uncomfortable, even if they didn't have anxiety. You don't want them sitting there and having the wiggles because they have a lot of sugar and having a sugar rush. The last thing I said is that we could write in journals. You could have a picture of yourself that they could keep in their school bag, and on the back of the picture, you can remind them, just breathe, you've got this, some positive reinforcement, and don't give in to the picking up from school and going back and removing them from the environment. That you're trying to teach them to have this independence and to know that they are safe and that they are just having a feeling, that it is not them. It is a feeling. It's going to come, it's going to go, and they can endure it. And they have a tool. They will use the breathing to make it go away. They're going to use their belly to tell their brain that they're in charge. So with anything in parenting, it's trial and error. Each kid's different. Remember that you know your kid the best. You are with them majority of the time. With the tips that I've given, this worked for my family. I pray that it works for your family. I can't predict, but don't give up. And when you start something, stay committed. The good news is these moments in time of parenting, they are tough for you, but this is how we learn and grow. And this is how we become better parents. And this is how we help our children learn and grow. And that this is all part of life from now till we die. And it's a good thing. So the good news is that this is a phase. It's not going to last forever. You are going to figure it out. Your child is going to figure it out. And you guys are going to move on. And then there's going to be another conundrum that you're going to be like, what do I do now? Which is what is supposed to happen. So it's all good. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Good luck. If you have a child who gets upset before going to school, I understand the heart pulling of all things, but you've got this. We've got this. And keep it going to keep it healthy. Have a good one. Listeners, thanks for hanging out with me in the classroom today. If today's episode sparked a new idea for you, please make sure to click follow on your podcast app so you never miss a conversation. If you know a parent who is currently struggling to find answers, please share this episode with them. You just might be that link to help them on their journey. And finally, if you're a wellness expert or mom with a story to share, email me. I'd love to have you on the show. Until next time, keep them healthy.